Her first meeting of the day is a 9 a.m. Zoom check-in. Her little square is in the corner. She's got her good lighting set up, the one that hides the tiredness under her eyes. Ready to crush it. She hits send. She feels a little sick. Without even thinking, she clicks Add to Cart. It's $49.99 plus shipping. She'll put it on the card, the one with the bill she hasn't opened. This sign, she thinks, will help. It will remind her. It will fix the atmosphere in her apartment. It will make her feel the way she's supposed to feel. As she enters her payment info, a single powerful question pushes its way through the fog in her brain. It was so quiet, she almost missed it. But it was there. What if the thing you're buying to make you feel better is actually the proof of why you feel so bad? She shakes her head, dismissing it. It was an uncomfortable, weird thought. She completes the purchase. The confirmation email pings into her inbox. Your order for Good Vibes neon sign is confirmed. She leans back in her chair. The office is quiet now. Just the hum of computers and the distant sound of a vacuum cleaner. She's tired. A deep, soul-level tired that a good night's sleep won't fix. She has practiced her gratitude. She has spread her positivity. She has smiled on cue and reframed every worry. And yet, here she is, in the quiet of a Monday evening, feeling utterly alone with a crushing weight of something she can't even name, because she's not allowed to. She packs her bag to go home, to her quiet apartment, to wait for a neon sign to arrive and solve a problem it might have just helped create. The walk to the train feels longer than usual. The wind off the lake is cold and biting, cutting right through her cheerful yellow sweater. All around her, the city lights of Chicago begin to twinkle, beautiful and distant, like stars she couldn't quite reach. And for the first time, she let herself wonder if the lie she'd been trying so hard to believe, that constant, forceful positivity was the only way to be a good, strong, likable person, was the very thing that was keeping her in the dark. The neon sign arrived on a Wednesday. Sarah pulled it from the cardboard box, the plastic glowing a faint, eerie pink even in the daylight of her apartment. It was lighter than she expected. She hung it on the wall above her small, second-hand sofa, plugging it in with a hopeful click. The buzz was soft, a faint electric hum that filled the quiet room. Good vibes. It cast a pink glow on the gray walls, on the pile of unread books on her coffee table, on the single, slightly wilted orchid she'd bought to brighten the place up. She sat on the couch and stared at it. She waited for the feeling, the good vibe, the shift. It didn't come. Instead, the pink light felt like it was highlighting everything that wasn't good. The silence, the loneliness, the creeping sense that she was failing at her own life. See, Sarah had always been the positive one. In her family, growing up outside Milwaukee, she was the peacemaker. When her parents argued, she'd make silly faces to make her little sister laugh. In school, if she got a bad grade, she'd tell her friends, "It's fine, just means I have room to grow." It was her identity. It was how she made people comfortable. It was how she stayed safe. If you're sunny and upbeat, people like you. They don't ask hard questions. They don't see the mess. But here's the thing that no one talks about. That identity, that positive person mask, becomes a cage. A very pretty, very acceptable cage. You start to believe that any emotion that isn't gratitude or cheerfulness is a personal failure, a flaw in your character, a burden you must not, under any circumstances, put on anyone else. So you learn to do this thing. Psychologists actually have a name for it. They call it emotional bypassing. It's when you try to skip over the hard, messy human feeling to get straight to the positive outcome. Someone shares a fear and you instantly say, "But look on the bright side." You feel anger and you immediately shove it down and tell yourself, "I should be more grateful." It's like putting a bandage on a wound without cleaning it first. It might look okay from the outside, but underneath, it's festering. Let me tell you about David. He's not Sarah, but his story might sound familiar. David is 32, a middle school history teacher in Austin, Texas. He loves his students. He loves making the past come alive. But this past year, his school district has had brutal budget cuts. He's buying pencils and paper for his kids out of his own pocket. His class sizes are ballooning. The stress is a constant buzzing presence in the back of his skull. But David is also the guy everyone counts on for a laugh in the teacher's lounge. He's the ray of sunshine. So when a colleague looks overwhelmed, he cracks a joke. When the principal asks how he's handling the new impossible workload, he smiles and says, "We'll make it work. Think of the kids." He believes deeply that his value to his community is in his unwavering optimism. Then, one Tuesday after school, it happens. He's sitting in his car in the parking lot, the Texas heat making the air wobble outside his windshield. He's just finished writing an email to parents about another fundraiser for basic supplies. A wave of pure, helpless frustration crashes over him. His hands tighten on the steering wheel until his knuckles turn white. His breath comes in short, sharp gasps. His heart is hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. It's a panic attack, his first one. And what does David think in that moment, as he's fighting to just breathe? He thinks, "What is wrong with me? I have a job I love. I have a roof over my head. Other people have it so much worse. I need to be more positive." He isn't scared. By the panic attack, he's ashamed of it. Because in his mind, his negative emotion, his completely understandable frustration and stress, is a betrayal of the positive identity he's built. It's proof he's not strong enough. That's the villain in this story. It's not stress. It's not sadness. Sarah experienced this directly at last year's Thanksgiving. It wasn't a big dramatic scene. If the trap is believing our hard feelings are unacceptable, then the first glimpse of escape is a terrifying, simple question. And that realization, as uncomfortable as it was, held the first seed of hope. What if you just didn't? It sounded crazy, risky. What would Maya think? Would she be worried? Have you ever felt that pressure to be positive all the time? To always be fine, even when you're anything but? Let's talk about Sarah. It was just before Thanksgiving, and for Sarah, the holiday wasn't about gratitude, it was about anxiety. The dread was real. Her 401k felt like a joke, and a deep sense of loneliness was her constant companion. So, she did something terrifying. She picked up her phone and typed a message to her friends. "Hey, can I just be real for a second? I'm feeling super anxious about Thanksgiving. I am dreading the whole performative gratitude thing, while my 401k is basically a joke, and I'm just lonely. I just needed to say that to someone. You don't have to fix it." Her finger hovered over the send button. Every part of her wanted to delete it, to make a joke, to retreat back into the safety of pretending. This is a silent battle so many of us fight. The habit of saying, "I am fine," clashing with the desperate need to be real. She took a breath, closed her eyes, and hit send. The regret was immediate, a hot wave of panic. "What did I just do?" she whispered. She threw her phone on the couch and started pacing. The silence was deafening. She imagined her friends' reactions, annoyance, disappointment, or worse, a cheerful, dismissive reply. This is the moment, that awful feeling after you've shared a piece of your truth, where most of us give up. The discomfort is so intense we scramble to take it back. We decide that being lonely in a familiar way is better than risking rejection. But Sarah didn't take it back. She stood there, feeling every bit of that prickly vulnerability, and she waited, her heart hammered against her ribs, then a soft ping, and another. She walked back to the couch, her hands shaking, and picked up the phone. The first message was from her friend Maya. It wasn't a fix-it plan. It was something far better. "Oh, Sarah, thank you for telling me. I've been feeling the exact same way. I've been stressed about money for months, and putting on a happy face for the kids is exhausting. I'm so glad you said something." Reading those words, Sarah felt a knot in her stomach loosen. She wasn't alone. The second message was from her friend Chloe. "Same, so much same. Want to go for a walk tomorrow and just not be okay for a minute. No solutions, just company." A tear rolled down Sarah's cheek. Not a sad tear, but a tear of release. It was the sound of a lock clicking open. This was her victory. Not a big dramatic life change, but a real, unmasked connection. The feeling of someone reaching back through the dark and saying, "Me too, I see you." She typed back to them, thanking them for hearing her. As she put her phone down, the apartment felt different. The silence was no longer heavy. It was peaceful. Her problems hadn't vanished, but now she wasn't carrying them all by herself. A tiny piece of her positive person mask had chipped away, and what she found underneath wasn't a monster, but her real, human self, a self her friends loved. This is how it starts. The first crack in the wall. It doesn't have to be a grand confession. It can be one text to one friend. A simple sentence to your partner, like, "I had a hard day and just need some quiet." The action is small, but the feeling afterward is enormous. It's like coming up for air when you didn't even realize you were drowning. You've chosen connection over performance. A couple of days later, Sarah went for that walk with Chloe. The Chicago air was cold and clean. They walked along an old elevated train line turned into a park. For the first 15 minutes, they didn't say a word. It wasn't awkward. It was comfortable. It was the silence of two people who had given each other permission to just be. Finally, Sarah spoke. "I just keep thinking about the good vibes only sign at the Thanksgiving table. It feels like a rule I'm going to break just by breathing." Her small act of bravery with that one text message had opened the door to this moment. A real conversation, free from pressure and pretense. It showed that true connection doesn't come from pretending everything is perfect. It comes from the courage to be real, to admit we're not okay, and to find others who feel the same way. If you're struggling, remember you're not alone. Reaching out for support is a sign of incredible strength. You can connect with compassionate and trained individuals by calling or texting 988 in the US and Canada, or by calling 111 in the UK. Your well-being matters. Thank you for watching. Chloe nodded, her hands shoved deep in her coat pockets. "Yeah, it's like we're all supposed to show up as holiday-themed robots. I'm dreading my uncle's lectures about the good old days." They talked like that for an hour, not solving anything, not offering cheerful advice. Sarah went home feeling lighter, but she knew one conversation wasn't a shield against a lifetime of habit. The big family dinner was in 72 hours. She needed a plan. Out loud. "Good morning. Today, I feel partly cloudy with a chance of anxiety. Or, I feel sunny, but with a cold front of resentment moving in from the work zone.